History is a graveyard of giants. We look at the skylines of London, Washington, and Paris and imagine they will stand forever. But history tells a different story. Welcome to our new series, Rise and Fall of World Empires. Over the coming episodes, we will dissect the DNA of history's greatest powers, how they were built, how they thrived, and precisely why they burned. Today, we begin with the blueprint of Western civilization, a small city of mud that became an empire of marble, a power so vast it called the Mediterranean Mare Nostrum, our sea. This is the story of Rome, from the glory of the Caesars to the dark secrets buried beneath the Colosseum. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it was built on blood. The legend says Romulus and Remus, twin brothers suckled by a wolf, founded the city in 753 BCC. But the historical truth is more impressive. Rome began as a collection of hut-dwelling farmers on the Palatine Hill. They were surrounded by more powerful neighbors like the Etruscans and Greeks. In its infancy, Rome was a monarchy. But after the rape of Lucretia and the tyranny of King Tarquin the Proud, the Romans did something radical. They vowed never to be ruled by a king again. They created the Republic. Rome's rise was fueled by a unique defensive aggression. They conquered neighbors to prevent being conquered. Through the Punic Wars against Hannibal of Carthage, Rome learned to fight on sea and land, eventually becoming the sole superpower of the Mediterranean. At its peak under Emperor Trajan 170 AD, the empire spanned 5 million square kilometers. It held 70 million people, roughly 21% of the world's population at the time. Economy and trade, the Roman denarius was the US dollar of antiquity. From the silk of China to the spices of India, all roads, literally, led to Rome. The greatest ruler, while Trajan expanded the borders, Augustus Caesar was the architect of the Pax Romana, peace. He famously said, "I found Rome a city of bricks and left it a city of marble." He professionalized the army and created the first fire departments and police forces. Rome didn't just conquer with the sword, they conquered with the mind. They perfected the arch and invented concrete, nomen term. Their concrete was so superior it could set underwater, a secret lost for 1,000 years after the fall. The aqueducts, they moved 1 million cubic meters of water into the city daily. The Colosseum, an engineering marvel that could be flooded for mock naval battles. Education was for the elite, focused on rhetoric, the art of persuasion. If you couldn't speak well, you couldn't lead. In art, while the Greeks sought perfection, Romans sought realism. They wanted to see the wrinkles, the scars, and the truth of a person's face. Music. Contrary to the silent statues we see today, Rome was loud. The hydraulis and the tuba echoed through the streets during festivals and games, but beneath the marble was a rot. The dark secrets of Rome are often sanitized in history books. Abuse of power, the emperors weren't just leaders, many were lunatics. Caligula reportedly tried to make his horse a consul and ordered his soldiers to collect seashells as spoils of war from the ocean. Nero used Christians as human torches to light his garden parties. The Roman economy was a giant Ponzi scheme, fueled by human trafficking. 1 in every 3 people in Italy was a slave. If a slave killed a master, Roman law dictated that every slave in that household, men, women, and children, be executed. Upper-class Romans used lead to sweeten their wine and line their pipes. Some historians argue that chronic lead poisoning led to the erratic behavior of the ruling class. Why did it end? Rome didn't fall because of one earthquake or one battle. It crumbled under its own weight. 1. Overexpansion. The empire became too big to defend. Communication from the borders to the capital took weeks. 2. Economic hyperinflation. To pay for the massive military, emperors debased the currency, mixing silver with cheap copper. The money became worthless. 3. Political chaos. In one 50-year period, there were 26 different emperors. Most were assassinated by their own bodyguards, the Praetorian Guard. 4. The final blow in 476 AD, the Germanic chieftain Odoacer deposed the teenage Emperor Romulus Augustulus. The Eternal City had been sacked and the West fell into the Dark Ages. Rome died, but it never left us. What we still use, the concept of innocent until proven guilty, is Roman. Languages like Spanish, French, Italian and Romanian are literally Romance, Nam. The US Capitol building, the Senate, and the concept of a republic are direct copies of Roman ideals. The theme of Rome is a warning to the modern world. Even the strongest walls fall from within. When a society stops valuing its institutions, when it debases its currency, and when it prefers bread and circuses over civic duty, it is already on the path to collapse. Rome is not just a chapter in a textbook. It is a mirror. Catch us with Rooted Roads series, Rise and Fall of World Empires, in the next episode with interesting empires. Don't forget to subscribe to witness the rise and fall of history.